We will now go into another very important topic in chemistry called thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is generally touted to be one of the difficult topics. However, the kind of thermodynamics we will deal with is not going to be so difficult. Thermodynamics is basically the study of energy, work, and heat. What exactly is energy? What is work? And what is heat? We will look at all those three components of thermodynamics. But thermodynamics is a very broad field. A lot of physicists and engineers have to study thermodynamics. The particular branch of thermodynamics that is applicable to chemists is what we will be dealing with. Sometimes it's called thermochemistry, and basically that means having to do with the study of energy, work, and heat in chemical reactions. Chemical reactions, also called chemical changes. In chemical changes, there could be heat involved, work could be done, energy could be released, or work may needed to be done on our reaction for the reaction to happen. Energy could have been required to be supplied to the reaction for the reaction to happen, and so on. Similarly, physical changes are changes in the state of matter, such as going from liquid to gas or liquid to solid. And in those changes as well, there is energy involved. Energy either consumed or released. For example, when you boil water, you are adding energy to water, and that's what converts it from liquid water to gaseous water vapor. On the other hand, if you have gaseous water vapor and if it condenses to liquid vapor water, that means energy is released. The same amount of energy that was required to convert a given quantity of liquid water to water vapor, the exact same amount of energy would be released back when gaseous water vapor is converted to liquid water. So ultimately, such studies of heat or energy and work that can be done through the energy involved is thermodynamics. Thermodynamics enables us to understand when certain chemical reactions that we have in our mind can actually take place in a lab. Not all chemical reactions we conceive can actually take place, but there are certain chemical reactions that can take place, and that's what we will study towards the end of this chapter. Now, remember that when we studied gases, there was the uh, kinetic molecular theory of gases. Well, similarly, there is this basic molecular theory, the basic kinetic molecular theory, as it pertains to thermodynamics, especially as it pertains to mixtures, reaction mixtures. We are not talking about gases anymore, but reaction mixtures where we have components mixed together. Molecules and atoms in a reaction mixture are in constant random motion. That's almost the same point that was made in the kinetic molecular theory of gases, that molecules of gases are in constant random motion. Same applies here. Molecules and atoms frequently collide with each other. So that's a point that differs from the kinetic molecular theory of gases, where we assume that they are uh, far away from each other and do not necessarily collide. But here we assume that they collide frequently with each other. Now, only some collisions result in breaking of the bonds or making of new bonds. Those collisions must have sufficient energy. When it comes to the kinetic molecular theory of gases, when collisions happen, they are perfectly elastic and they bounce back with no loss of energy. In this case, in our kinetic molecular theory pertaining to reaction mixtures, when two molecules collide, some collisions have just the right amount of energy to cause the molecules to break. Think about collisions happening on between two vehicles on a road. If the collision is not strong enough because the speed of the vehicles was not fast enough, then it could be a minor accident, a fender bender. But depending on the speed of the colliding particles, a real devastation could happen. Similarly, if the speed of the particles, the molecules colliding is high, that means the energy is high. And if the energy is high, the collisions can result in the breaking of the bonds in the molecules. We learned about the bonds in molecules, right? Covalent bonds. So when reactant bonds are broken, new bonds may be formed and products result. This is how chemical reactions happen. We have seen some chemical reactions. When we balance the reactions, we had reactants on the left and products on the right. But how exactly does that happen? Who is bringing them together? Who is bringing the two reactants together? And who is adjusting or reorganizing the structure of those reactants to form the products? Well, now you know. According to the kinetic molecular theory, those reactions happen due to totally random collisions, and some of those collisions just have high enough energy to cause break in the bonds in the reactants and new bonds may form. That is how reactions happen. There is nobody who is actually forcing the reactions to happen, or nobody who is bringing the two molecules together and uh, creating new molecules out of those, but random collisions with high enough energy may cause reactions to happen. And that is what we are going to base as our foundational understanding as we study reactions in thermodynamics further.